There was one guy I was talking to the other day. I said, when I was in elementary school, you was in high school. And I'm like, so that means you got a good gap between us.
Right.
And I'm like, brother, and you still want to be on the corner. And I'm just like, I think they like scared they're going to miss something. It's like a phobia. Fear of missing out or something.
Not even that. I feel like they feel that that's their place. Like, you know how like everything has a place value in life, right? So if you think that that's your place value, that's where you're going to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like commas and decimals, that's where they're at based on the number. So if you feel that that's your number, that's where you're going to be. That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, so for me, it's like, I defy the odds. Sorry. I want to be the best me, and that's it.
Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. I'm excited. I'm very excited, guys. Listen, guys, tap that screen. Let's wake up some people. Let's have some fun today. Today's episode, you know what the episode is today?
What is it?
Outgrowing people.
Fire.
When y'all hear that, what do y'all hear? And I want to hear both of y'all opinion. When you hear what it means to outgrow people.
I would say you on a different level now.
On a different level.
You reach a different level and you just can't take people on that journey with you. It's not supposed to be there. What you think?
Especially the ones that don't want to listen. So I'm in agreement. You outgrow the people that don't want to listen.
Have you outgrown people?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Several.
You know the scariest
Family
thing?
members.
Yeah. I've outgrown people and I'm still outgrowing people because I realize who's on the journey with you will stay on the journey with you because most people want you to pull the weight for them. You know, I don't want to cook, clean, wash the dishes, and serve you a plate. I feel like at some point you have to take over some of those roles and relinquish some of those roles. I feel like people always want everything from you. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah. Whatever you can, they'll take from you. They'll take. Whatever you're going to give, they'll keep taking.
I mean, but like she said, if you're going to give it, a person's going to take it. You got to know when to pull back and then say, listen, right about now, I can't give no more. So I need a little bit of giving to be able to keep giving. That makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense because earlier you said the person that's actually keep giving is the reasoning why they're comfortable asking. So would you say that's the problem is not the person, is the person that's keep basically catering and keep. Sometimes they find empathetic people, and when you have empathy, they take advantage of it and they exploit it. And then what happens is a lot of times people that come that are genuinely looking for an opportunity, you're so burnt out from the people that was trying to take advantage of you that you tend to not want to do anything. You ever felt like that sometime?
Absolutely.
What about you?
Many times.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Had to learn how to say no because what happens is you end up enabling them.
Exactly.
You know, so if I'm working hard for my money, you got to work hard too. Don't matter if it's a warehouse job, McDonald's, do what you got to do.
You know, it's weird because some people, I think that they want to be irresponsible with their money, but they want you to be responsible with your money. So if something happened to them, they can come look for you to give to them. That's crazy. That's not crazy?
Diabolical.
That's diabolical. I'm the fall guy. You're going to make the poorest decisions on earth, but you're going to expect me to accommodate your poor behaviors. I think this is the world we live in nowadays. You know, what are y'all starting to see in society today that's completely different from the way we were raised or what we seen growing up? Both of y'all.
Between me and you, I believe like it's expectation. People place expectations on you daily. You know, they watching your movements, they watching what you're making, they watching what car you're driving, they watching your bank account, how you going out, vacation, and they like, oh, I want a piece of that. Well, let me see how I can get on instead of trying to go get it for themselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you got to outgrow those people ASAP. You know what I mean?
You know something funny? One of my boys was asking me. He said he would like a big house. I said, how many bathrooms? He said like 7 bathrooms. I said, that means you have 7 different toilets that can clog. I said, you want a big house, do you have big house problems?
Right.
And I said, some people only look at the yes. And I'm like, you got to look at the whole total spectrum, right? But let me ask you now, for you growing up, how was your starting point and now elevating educating yourself, getting your degree, because you come from an environment, I must say this, that a lot of people don't get degrees. And both of you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know both of them personal guys, so I just want y'all to understand that both of y'all were able to obtain degrees. What was it like, and what kept both of you guys focused with pursuing a degree, especially when it's something that's not normal from the environment both of you guys come from?
For my case, I didn't want to live in lack. So I grew up seeing a lot of people that families, friends, who lived off of welfare, Section 8. I just didn't want that for myself, because when you're on those programs, it puts you in a box. It puts your mind in a box. It puts your finances in a box. It puts everything in a box. And I just wanted that freedom. So it took me 7 years, but I did it. I have a bachelor's in education. And I was the first female in my family to get a bachelor's out of many, many members of cousins, nieces, aunts, and everything.
Nice.
And I'm just grateful. And even when I said it, my friends had looked at me a little funny at first, because I dropped down my full-time position at work to go to school full-time.
Wow.
So I worked part-time, and I was a single mom, and I went to school full-time. I knew I had to do it. Even professors told me to quit. They was like, you got too much on your plate. I don't know how, you need to just stop and come back. And I was like, I can't stop. If I stop again, I'm not going to finish.
Let me just piggyback and then I'm going to come back to you. I think the issue, what they don't understand is, what we all sat upstairs a minute ago and was talking about, all three of us didn't have someone we could fall on. Exactly. Or we could depend on or lean on.
Exactly.
So we didn't have any other option.
Yeah.
So success was the only option.
Right.
Right? I see some people, they have falls. Like, if I fall down, I have someone I can call. They're going to help me out. I've never been that luxury. There was a video that 50 Cent said that when he got into war battles, he had no one to call. He had to defend himself. And I realized that was my story. I had to always defend myself. I couldn't depend on nobody, right? What about you? What would you say? What kept you motivated?
I mean, yeah, seeing my mom having a hustle like that, and I knew I just didn't want that for myself. So, when relationships didn't work out, it was just me and my kids. I had to figure it out. Quitting or not doing it wasn't an option. So it was like go or fail. So for me, I was on go time, and I made it happen. And seeing my kids watching that, they understood how to go and get it. So for me, it was like, I just knew what I didn't want, so I knew there was better for me. That made any sense.
100%.
And that was really it.
I love it, though. But what made both of y'all choose your professions?
I chose my profession because I love children, but also I chose my profession because nursing was a little challenging for me, but I knew I had to get something. So,
right.
It was a little less science and math, if I could be honest. But looking back on it, if I was to do it again, I would push myself to face that challenge. I'm sure I would have got help along the way.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I personally, I went to school for registered nursing. I'm a registered nurse. I went to school for nursing because I seen how so many people needed help who didn't have people in their corner, who didn't have the resources, who didn't have low socioeconomic class, who's on welfare, who didn't have family members to pull for them,
yes.
people in their corner.
Yes.
I was like, if I could be that person to touch them on the health-wise and then give them little drop jewels to them, like about just how to live, how to be healthy, what not to eat, but making healthy decisions, then if you could be healthy, you could be financially better, So I took that approach and said to myself, listen, it's now or never. I have to do this for my community. So it's bigger than just myself, but it's for my community.
A lot of times when I come on this podcast and I talk to a lot of people about my past tense, a lot of people tend to believe that I'm exaggerating, I'm fabricating, or I'm just lying.
Right.
And her in particular, she grew up with me.
Right.
And I just want you to, from your opinion, this is not rehearsed, I just want you to tell me what did you see different in me? You see different, rather?
So we grew up. We were bad kids. We were outside. Our moms was working 2 and 3 jobs. Trying to make ends meet. We didn't have all the resources or family members there to support. So, we were in the street. We were, doing things that probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it felt good because we didn't have that guidance. When you don't have guidance, you could fall by the wayside and no one even see you.
Yes.
And you here asking for help, but you don't even know you need the help. So you don't know how to verbalize the help. You know what I'm saying? So, seeing where he came from, just, making bad decisions in the streets, all times of the night, getting in trouble, moving from place to place. Every time I turned around, I was like, where did he go? He was living somewhere else. And, I was getting ready to go to bed. I was like, is that him in the street? Like, what is he doing? And, just seeing that, I was like, wow, like, his mom must not know, because his mother was tough. But you can't be tough if you're not there. So it's like, when you're an absent parent, even though you have the will, you want to be there, you love your kids, and that's why you're out trying to make it. But who's with your children? They're parenting themselves. They're trying to figure it out and go get it for themselves. So he made decisions to go help his family to make it, to elevate. And it maybe wasn't the right decision at the time, but it was the only decision.
Yeah.
So when you're backed up against the wall, either you're gonna sail or you're gonna sink.
100%.
And he definitely was sailing, even though it wasn't the right decisions. But where he's at now, I'm looking at him like, oh my gosh, like, wow. It's amazing. Like, wow. I'm like, is this the same person? Like, wow. And just to see where he's at now and where he came from, like, it speaks volumes. Like, anyone can get it, depending on how bad you want it. Yes. And if you support yourself and you love yourself, you will go and get the bag. That's right. Because it's there. Like, school's there for everyone. Choices are there for everyone. Loving on yourself, it's there. You got to go and find it. And that's why he's where he's at now.
I love it.
Like, it's crazy.
I love it. Wow. You want to hear something? And a lot of times, like, I don't like to talk about my prison stories. I'm not into it, and I never glorify it, and I never wanted to wear it as a badge of honor. I wear it as a learning experience. Just the same way as early childhood, or having a child early. I don't glorify it, but I will elaborate on it to allow people to see the struggles of doing it. Mm-hmm. When I went to prison, right, the one thing I didn't want to just work on was my body. Mm-hmm. I wanted to work on my mind because, one, in prison, you lack experience. So the fact that you're not exposed to experiences, you tend to go in the same age the way you come out. So if I go in prison at a 21-year-old age, boys are already behind. So let's say hypothetically, a 21-year-old boy is technically 17, 16. Mm-hmm. So I'm already behind psychologically. So now, very immature. So now at 21, you're going to prison, you're coming home at 25. And when you're coming home at 25, you didn't have the experience at 22, 23, 24, 25, giving you those experiences that allow you to elevate. But what I did for myself in prison, I read books and I read novels and I studied to understand what was normal for my age. Because when you're around 40-year-old men who behave like 16-year-old guys, you feel empathetic towards them because it's like they lack experience. They don't know how to be fathers. They don't know how to be men. Because one thing I always say is you're born as a male when you're born with a penis. But you have to learn how to be a father. You have to learn how to be a husband. You have to learn how to be a man. Those are roles that you have to learn. And vice versa for a woman. A woman is born a female. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she's a woman. She has to learn it. She has to learn how to be a mother, right? Otherwise, she's going to just be a grown female and vice versa for a man being a grown male. And I had to learn, right? What would you say in your experiences, what was some of your hardship of struggling that you had to outgrow that sometimes frustrates you because now that you have grown and we always want to pull back. That's the one thing about most cases. When people really went through struggle, they tend to want to make it a lot easier for people, right? Sure. Like, I know I have a lot of empathy for people. What would you say based on your circumstances, what was your hardships that you see now in your adulthood that still affect you today?
Hardships before that still affect me today.
Yes.
I don't know. Can you answer that question?
Yeah,
I gotta think a little bit.
I got some answers. So basically, like I said, my mom, she did the best she could. I mean, we went to church every week. Wow. She really was a stellar woman, but there was things I lacked. Like, she didn't teach me about how to be a wife because I didn't grow up with a father. So if I didn't see that, I couldn't be that.
Yes.
So even as a wife, and I love my husband to death, I'm still learning how to be a better wife.
Yes.
So to be a better wife, you have to be a better woman.
Yes.
So I had to build myself up, even in terms of cooking and cleaning and juggling and trying to balance, because my mom wasn't really there showing me. It was like, I'm just gonna do it because it's easier. I'm tired, and you'll learn it. You'll get it. But like how? You know what I mean? So I had to figure that out. I didn't have no one to talk to me about credit. credit's very, very important in this world that we live in.
Yes, it is.
If you have bad credit, you're not really a good adult. You're not doing the right thing, per se.
Yes.
You might be able to make it, but you're barely making it.
Yes.
You know, so I had to figure that out and just rebuild my credit. It was low. I got my first credit card, maxed it out, went shopping. I thought I was rich. I thought I was J-Lo. And I was outside. And then I was like, this is not it. So now I had to rewind, regroup and kind of be like, okay, let me pay this off. I got to be responsible. If I wasn't spending it in cash, I shouldn't be buying it. And I had to kind of teach myself things in order to be better, a better me, a version of myself. So it was tough, but I'm almost where I want to be. I still want to grow and do more. So
give it up for her.
Yeah.
You gotta give it the flowers. You gotta give it flowers.
Thank you.
What about you now? Back to you now. You know what's coming.
Something?
I'm still trying to think, but I can relate to the credit.
Right.
Starting off low. My passion also now is to teach my community how important financial literacy is, because so often we're behind because we just don't know. But if people start sharing the information, we pray that others get better. So,
like stocks, portfolio.
Right.
I mean, doing it.
Yes.
I got to catch up to you. So it's like we're all at different places, but that's where we need to be.
Yeah.
But each one teach one, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give you a story. A lot of people don't know. When I came home from prison, I was playing catch up, and at first I wasn't this person. I learned a lot of information, but the application aspect of the information was different. Mm-hmm. But I will say this: when I came home, I didn't know that my mom was going through foreclosure on her home, and my mom ended up losing her house. And when she lost her house, I had every car there was. You remember I used to drive foreign cars, and that was where my mind was. I wanted them to see me winning because y'all was hating for the fact that I went away, and I was playing catch up. I still had like childlike thoughts, right? So my mother lost her house. I remember my mother cried a cry that I can hear it right now, and it affects me every time I think about it. And she cried a cry so hard. She said to me, I lost my house. I've never seen the superwoman that I've seen as superwoman my whole life felt so weak. Wow. And I just felt she felt weak. But at that moment, I looked at her and I said to her, I'm gonna pick up the pieces. Now it's my time to take the cape, and I'm gonna do it for us. A lot of people don't know this story, that I moved my mother above my barbershop. And I told my mother, give me a year. I was going through a divorce. I said, give me a year, I'm gonna fix our life. And she said, are you? I said, yeah. And remember, I had somewhere to live that I actually let go. I let the ex have it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a new place. And my mother was saying, I feel so embarrassed that I have to live above your barbershop. And I said, one thing about going backwards, you can go better forward. And I said, a car always will have a reverse, because sometimes you have to go backwards to go better forward. So anyway, she said, I remember I told her exactly what I want. I said, I want a house with big double doors. I described the house, Vivian, before I got this house. I described
that
it.
you living in now.
Yes.
Right.
I said, I want a theater. I told her all of these things. And I remember when I brought my mom to this house, I was showing her different houses, and she was like, I don't like that. She started getting stush a little bit. And she was like, I don't like it. It's so nice. But when I brought her to this house, I already knew, my heart already knew this was my home. I said to her, Mom, how you feel about this house? She said, it's nice. She said, I really like it a lot. She said, but I don't think you could afford it. My mother didn't know how much money I had.
Wow.
She never did, because I slowed down. Because, naturally, black people are comfortable with showing wealth. And I stopped showing wealth. I said, yes. I said, I'm not going to show no wealth. I'm not going to show anything. I'm going to just calm it down, and I'm going to live within my means, and I'm going to be responsible. When I showed her this house, she said to me, this house is beautiful. I handed her the key. That cry that she gave me the day she lost her house,
She gave again.
it became the biggest joy I've ever seen in my life. And that's why I said, when you're inspired to be greater, because your mission has to be bigger than you, for God to make it big enough for you.
That's right.
It can't just be about you.
Nope.
Reverse the heartache.
100%, 100%, 100%. Anybody else got any other stories? I'm listening, because I know you being reserved with your story.
I be having to think.
What was some of the hardest things you've been through growing up?
Hardest things that I've been growing up.
And you've been able to overcome? I tell you, one of mine was insecurity. I was very insecure. And you don't notice it because everybody around you are.
Yeah.
That's why we wear the material things. That's why we wear the sneakers and the clothes. It's insecurity because it's more so about the way the world perceives you. It's like you start getting so caught up in the costume. So you start masking all your pain, your trauma, you're disguising it. But in reality, it still exists, it still is there. And there's moments that will trigger it. And you don't even notice that you're being triggered by conversations. Like I remember one time, one of my homeboys, his mother was a drug addict, bad. And to this day, he's anti-drugs. And they were always like, yo, he always got something to say about drugs. And I had to stop him one day after he left and say, yeah, I don't know what he's been through with drugs. I said, you've seen the him, but you don't know what he's been through with dealing with a person that was on substance.
Wow.
I said, so that's his trauma.
Yeah.
He's basically witnessing people that he cared for make certain decisions that his mother did.
Yeah.
His mother chose the drug over him.
Which is an impaction forever. It's an impaction on your life. I mean, I feel like when people have emotional scars, like that type of healing takes a long time.
Yes.
And some never recover, and some through the grace of God and just trusting God and pressing forward and just keep grinding, they overcome it.
Yes.
But you're so close to going back, depending on who you let in your circle, who is doing those same very things that you have your scarring for. You can't allow them to penetrate back in. So you kind of got to close that bubble, and you're like, can't let you in. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So, but for me, my biggest, I think, hurt was like losing my mom at 23.
I remember.
My mom was my whole world, whole entire world, my best friend. So when I lost her, I had to take that internal hurt and pour it outward for the good. So I was like, all right, I got to put myself to school now. I got to figure it out. I don't have a backup. I don't have no one to be like, hey, you could do it. I had to motivate myself.
Yeah.
So just knowing that was like, I'm going to have to go and be great for me and my kids and my mom who's watching down on me. So that was my own internal, I internalized that and propelled it outwards to be the best version of Suzanne.
Wow.
Pretty much.
I love that.
I love it too. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and now here I am, doing what I got to do. I have a great job. I love my coworkers. I love what I do. Registered nurse, like I said. I do primary care, GYN, behavioral health. There's so many people with mental health issues that we're neglecting that just need someone to care and just listen to what they got to say to make the difference.
Look, I grew up with her. They was on her hills where I'm from.
Right.
The whole neighborhood was on Suzanne Hills.
It was on her hills. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was.
The neighborhood was on her.
And thank God for my brother, who wasn't doing the right thing, unlike someone I know. But, he prevented all those guys that want to get with me. They was like, oh, I can't. She's off limits. So I didn't get it popping until college because I couldn't, because no one would dare. Like he'll tell you, no one would dare. So I had little crushes, but I wasn't doing anything until college.
Yeah.
My brother had it on lockdown, tight grip back in Westbury. It was like I was untouchable. So it kind of made me stay on my toes and not get caught up in having sex and doing drugs and smoking and drinking, because I knew what was coming home for me was way worse. So I kind of kept it to a minimum.
You know, a lot of people, we talk about the term coping mechanisms, and I've learned that there are a multitude of ways you can cope with your problems.
Definitely.
One of the coping mechanisms that some people do is overly indulge around people to drown out the noise. I think that's what I did. Like I would go around a bunch of people, like I was in a gang, and that was my way of drowning out my house noise.
He had a lot of followers.
Yeah.
But it wasn't online. It wasn't none of this. It was
It's outside.
You saw him and you was like, who's all these dudes? And those were his followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they weren't the best kind, but that's what he was in at that moment. That's what he needed. Because that's all he knew.
I'm gonna be vulnerable for y'all right now. There's a young kid, and when I was in prison, he passed away. I'm the one that introduced him to the gang.
Oh, wow.
And I've never told this story. And I introduced him to the gang. He was never like a wild kid, never.
Wow.
And long story short, I introduced him to the gang. He created this new character because he was around me. He felt like I always had his back. I was never a punk. I was never scary. And it created this character. Ultimately, I ended up going away. When I went away, he ended up getting murdered. Yeah. And I was on the phone with my ex while she was at his funeral. Recently, I just forgave myself for it.
Wow.
Because a part of me felt like it was my fault. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like it was my fault because I had the gift of leadership, but I led him down the wrong path, even though it was his choice. But a part of me felt like he wanted to be down with me, and I knew it.
And then you had to leave. So like, you're like
Couldn't protect him.
Had I would have left,
Couldn't protect
but
him.
like, this is what happens when you let people take your choices away. You do the wrong thing, now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, and it's like,
It's crazy because every time I think about it, I'm like, damn, like, I could have prevented it. I could have prevented it. So I think that's like, now when I come back, some of the people I know that had good hearts, I look forward to try to help them grow because I feel a level of empathy. You know, like a selfish part of me really wants people to feel happy. Like for the first time in my life, I'm happy. Like I'm genuinely happy. Like I'm happy, you know, seeing friends and family and people that made it out, you know, because I don't know, you know, remember Sean Mims?
yes.
Me and Mims did an interview and Mims said to me, this is around the time when I first came home. I did an interview with him. Mims is the guy that got the record, This Is Why I'm Hot. This is why I'm hot.
Yes.
We went to school with him.
Yeah,
So long story short, Mims is a good dude too.
definitely.
And Mims said to me, he was like, Q, if you leave this area, you're gonna be special. And I used to look at him like, man, you just saying that because you standing in front of me. He said, nah, bro, when you talk, I get goosebumps, bro.
Wow.
And I'm just looking at him like, damn, you serious? He's like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, bro. And looking back, I never went back when I came home.
Let me just touch on that because see, growing up, he had an inner, like, there were like certain people you could look at, even though they were bad, but there was an inner good. He was one that he had an inner good. He was never like very disrespect. Like, you know, some people like they're bad and it's one thing to be like bad and just evil.
Right.
And just have no morals or no character. Like his mom instilled that in him through the things she made him do. And you know, you have chores. Like when you're a mother, you have to show your son, if there's no father figure, how to be a man to the best of your ability.
Yes.
So here, hey, you need to go. You see that snow in that driveway? What you supposed to be doing? So she kind of instilled in him like, yo, you need to go out here and be a man because right now you're the man in this house.
Yes.
And so what she called you man? So he had to go out there and be a man.
My nickname.
Early.
Wow.
So he was never bad in terms of his character.
No.
He just made not the best decisions because he felt that he had to make them because there was no one else to help his mother be the woman that she needed to be. You know, and have the financial stability for them.
Yes.
So it's funny that he said that because he was always good, and he just needed the right time and the right person to believe in him to take him to that next level.
Wow.
You know the guy
You know.
Charleston White? You don't know Charleston White? Charleston White, you know, he's an activist. He said a line the other day, and I processed it, and he said, it's hard for a man to listen to a man when there's no man in his house. So you rebel against that man because you really want that man in your house.
Wow.
Right.
But then he said vice versa. The woman rebels against the man because of the fact that she wish she had that man in her home.
Right. So it's a lot of psychological.
It is.
It's like a resentment that
It is.
But you don't even know you have it.
Yes.
That's what's like. That's what's so crazy about it. You don't even know you're feeling this way until you're like, why did I push all these people away?
Yes.
That were trying to do good because I wasn't used to having the good. So for you, it's awkward. It's weird, but it's normal.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
100%. But a part of you, in most cases, the number one thing a lot of people endure with trying to become better is self-sabotaging, where they do things to affect their own lives, but they think that they're hurting others, but in reality, they're hurting themselves, right? And I was guilty of it, not realizing that I'm not hurting. I remember I used to complain about my dad, and at this time, I'm not being the greatest father.
Right.
But I'm using his excuse to be not a great father.
Right.
And then it has to register. Like I'm
Same with the
bugging.
apple doesn't fall far.
Yeah.
But that's if you allow that apple to not fall far. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to make a decision. Like, I don't want to be like you, so I'm going to do everything in my power to do the opposite, whatever that is.
100%.
You know, as opposed to, well, it's easy to do the same thing because that's what you've been seeing.
Yes.
But I dare you to do the opposite. That's challenging.
I like that.
Agree?
You grew up without your father?
Yeah, I did.
How was it growing up without him?
So I didn't meet my dad until I was about 16 years old.
Okay.
The man that I thought was my father, he was in the Army, so I traveled all over. I was an Army brat, you know.
Aww.
And then I learned later on in life that he wasn't my dad. So when my mom and him broke up, he broke up with me too.
Wow.
So it's like I never heard from him again. And that was hurtful. And I think it plays a part on the decisions that I've made and the partners that I've chose with almost kind of like settling for anything, which sucks. Because I have a big heart. I'm genuine. I'm empathetic. And people play on that. And, you know, I genuinely want a healthy relationship, a functional relationship. Not dysfunctional, where we can build and be better. But oftentimes I've settled for less, which is terrible. And that's probably one of the trauma scars. Someone mentioned trauma scars that I suffer with because I didn't have a man in my life. You know, so.
And that's why, like, as your friend, one thing I always made you do is check the woman that I bring around.
Yeah.
To see what she is.
Yeah.
I wanted you to check her temperature because a woman can see a woman faster than a man can see a woman.
True.
That's true.
Right? I could assume what a woman is, but a woman knows what a woman is.
Yeah.
Right? But naturally, I know men.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hold on. And I see that you got a heart of gold. Yeah. And I always would tell you, like, yo, be mindful of that. Because takers will always take. They won't give back. They just keep taking.
Well, it's their nature.
Yes, it's
I
their
remember
nature.
there's something you said, Q, maybe to me or to everybody. You always say women have to stop dating potential. Right?
Correct.
Because people will tell you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I'm going to do this, I promise this, I'm going to do this. But then you never see the growth. And they're not willing to do whatever it takes to fund their dream and get to the next level. That's so important. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get out of that rut.
But you know when there's love involved,
yeah,
you have to be mindful because a lot of people that suffer from abandonment, they tend to cling on to things because they don't like to feel like losing again.
Yeah.
So for instance, you'll see some person they'll date 30 years. In reality, they're trauma bonding. It's not a healthy relationship.
Not at
but they're
all.
bonding based on their traumas.
It's a safety net.
It's a safety net.
Not wanting to be alone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Mommy issues, daddy issues, and also abandonment issues. I think 3 major key components to what goes on in our environment.
Yeah.
A lot of people suffer from mommy issues. Mommy might have been verbally abusive because of the fact that she was frustrated with her situation.
Sure.
And then you also suffer from daddy issues, which is dad not being there, which creates a level of insecurity because they look for validation.
Yeah.
Right? Women look for validation from men because they didn't have been validated by men.
Yeah.
And men look for validation from women because of the fact are also men. You notice nowadays more men look for validation from men than ever.
Yeah.
It's true.
I wonder why.
It's true.
It's the fathers
Yeah.
not being there. They look for validation. They seek it.
Yeah.
Right? And it becomes the catalyst for their life, searching for validation.
That's
Also,
almost.
I think also I think that like times have changed and now, you know, people are talking about like mental health, like counseling isn't frowned upon. It's like, yo, express how you feel. Let's talk about that. Let's see how we can work on it. Let's see how we can change it.
Yeah.
But if we can't talk about nothing, we can't change anything.
That's true.
So now you're seeing men and women saying, hey, look, I don't like this, or you know, I would like you to do more of this. And if you don't put your feelings out there and you say, like, this is what I need, like, this is my love language, what's yours, then we can't really begin to help each other. We're just there coexisting, and like, what is that? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, we're roommates. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know? So
What you're saying is facts. But I want to ask both of you, now that y'all have educated yourselves, moved up in life, what would you say, how has your friend circle become? And also, I want to know your family structure, because I'm pretty sure not everyone in your family has elevated. So what would you say is your family structure dynamics now, and also your friend dynamic now? What would you say has changed?
As far as what, like picking healthy friends versus unhealthy
No,
friends?
I don't want to say they're unhealthy, but based on your old friends, how many of them, let's say if you had 10 friends, how many are you still close with now?
Oh, okay, I understand. About 5.
5, what about
Yeah,
you?
it's like we're like a tight circle. It's like at least 20 plus years friendship.
Wow.
And they're all either doing very well in their career or married, or their mindset has shifted also. They want to be better in life.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, we are really close.
I love that.
Yeah, majority of all my friends, like we've elevated. You know, your fiance Alicia, that's one of my best friends since high school. She's my day one. My cousin Kim, my cousin Dashi. They've always been the same. They've elevated. You know, everybody got degrees. They're quality people. I've made some new friends, like-minded like myself. I feel like if you're gonna have friends and you guys don't have the same outlook and visions, and y'all are really not gonna be friends for long.
We see a
So like,
time.
I have a couple of new ones, but we're all on the same page. We see each other. I see them. We respect one another. We elevate each other. We encourage each other. Like, that's a friendship that's gonna go somewhere. The rest of them, I don't really, it's high and by. If I see them, they're on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook, but maybe we're not hanging out. But I still got love for them. Wish them the best. But I like where I'm at and where my friends are, and we're in a good space.
It's weird because like now, I genuinely know what friends are. And I didn't know. Like I said, we trauma bond, right? You can do the same thing with your friends. Like, I think my friends were more close because we were in a certain environment. So aesthetically, we all made sense. It made sense for us to hang out because we lived in a certain environment. But then mentally, I go around some of the people that I've grown around, I grew up with, they don't even know how to approach me.
Yeah.
They automatically create a perception about me.
Wow.
Because I'm also having age-appropriate conversations. I don't want to talk about how you was doing spitballs in a high school cafeteria.
Or how many blunts you rolled last night.
I don't care about that.
Right.
Who did more time?
Let's have an intelligent conversation. Can we do that?
How's your
Like, they don't-
kids?
Right.
Right. What's the goal? How are we going to build some generational wealth? What are we doing? That's the kind of conversation. So
So important.
a lot of people don't know how to, they when they're approaching, they take it as, you get called bougie. You get called Hollywood. I get all of those things. But I'm like, if you called me and we had a conversation, I'll be willing to help you.
Get to that next level.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's someone that's going to help me get to my next level. Because that's how life is. It's a trickle down. And a ladder, people throw ladders and give you a climb up. Regardless of whatever you do in life, someone has given you opportunity.
Yes.
Someone had to hire you.
But that's like my best friend Eileen. Like,
Yeah.
we worked together from the time I was 17. I think my second job at Stop and Shop. We were cashiers, crazy. And I had kind of had to push her to elevate. And we've gotten in arguments. I was like, look, you're going to go get a license. You're going to get a job. We're going to go do this. I need you to trust me on this. It's not going to be easy. She followed my lead. She's doing great for herself. She's doing what she needs to do. And she's doing what she needs to do. I'm so proud of her. And now we could take trips together. We could vacation together. We could laugh about our hard times versus where we at right now. And it's just a beautiful thing. But like, that person has to believe in your vision. Like, if they're not there, you could bring people to the water, but they got to take that initial drink.
Yes.
And then you could be like, hey, you need more.
Yes.
But you got to make that initial drink is yours. It's yours. And then I could help you from there on. But you can only bring a person to the water, but we know the rest. So she has taken that step, and I'm like just so proud of her because she was when I wasn't sure. I was like, girl, you gonna, and she figured it out, and she's doing great.
Wow.
So it just shows you like you have the will, you can will yourself to be better.
Yes.
And be great.
Yes.
And it's all in your mind.
Yes.
You know?
You know what's amazing? I remember the first time I traveled out the country with one of my friends. We grew up together. And it was so amazing because we struggled together. And now we're enjoying life together.
I love
Right.
it.
And I'm just staring at him like, yo,
That's what I got.
this is crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, the story is going to end great.
It's a different happiness.
Yeah.
See, you get a new friend and you're already there.
Yes.
But to take that friend and you know where we both came from,
What?
that level of happiness, it hits you in a different way.
Wow.
Where you're like full of like love, joy, happiness all at the same time. And it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
And I'll give you one, like, quick story. I remember a real estate company asked me to speak at their event. It was in Jersey at the Atlantic City. And when I got to the event, everyone that spoke before me, Dr. So-and-so,
Right.
master's degree in this, everyone had these crazy degrees. And I was the keynote speaker.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I don't know if I belong here.
Right.
Wow.
I called my friend, my childhood friend, and I said, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave. He said, what do you mean you're gonna leave? I said, bro, everybody that went before me is doctor this and doctor that and such and such, such and such.
Title.
So I said, it's a title. But then he spoke to me. He said, look at where we come from. Look where you at. He said, you wouldn't be there if you didn't belong there. And hearing him say that at that moment, when I say I got on that stage, I got an ovation. You see me speak.
Yes.
So you know I had a room crying. I had people getting emotional. I'm talking about they went crazy. After the end of the event, 4 people spoke before me, and people didn't even care to speak to them.
Wow.
They just kept coming over to me.
Wow.
It was like they were lining up to speak to me. And it's weird because I bought about 400 books. I sold out. And people ordered books online that day.
God's plan.
You know, and I was just like, that's crazy.
That's how you know you got a gift. That's
Right.
what you're walking in what God wants you to do.
Testimony saves people. You know, we got to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and tell our true testimonies. I think a lot of people be scared of telling their story. I'm like, nah. You know, you can't be judged.
That story comes with a lot of emotion. I think
does.
some people don't want to be vulnerable.
Yes.
That's something that you learn how to be vulnerable
Yes.
because you close that area out in your life because it brings you back to a place where you necessarily may not want to go.
No.
But it's important because it gives you insight on who you was and who you are now. If it wasn't for that little boy and that little girl that was doing all these bad things, you wouldn't have a story like you do.
No.
People wouldn't have the belief in you that, hey, if he did it, I could do it. You know, because we didn't have the silver spoons like, here's this. So you had to go get it. You know what I mean? So I invite it. I tell people, listen, we could do it. We've been through. Anybody
Still
can
make
go
it.
and get it. You know what I mean?
Listen, if we wasn't outside, we'd probably be OYNs right now. I see some people in my neighborhood, they still want to be outside.
Right. I'm
And they
like,
way older
aren't
than
you
me.
tired of being on that corner?
Wow.
I know your legs hurt.
I'm like,
You
yo.
sit in that same spot.
There was
Right.
one guy I was talking to the other day. I said, when I was in elementary school, you was in high school. And I'm like, so that means you got a good gap
Head start.
between us.
Right.
And I'm like, brother, and you still want to be on the corner. And I'm just like, I think they like scared they're going to miss something. It's like a phobia. Fear of missing out or
It's not
something.
even that. I feel like they feel that that's their place. Like, you know how like everything has a place value in life, right? So if you think that that's your place value, that's where you're going to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like commas and decimals, that's where they're at based on the number. So if you feel that that's your number, that's where you're going to be. That's just what it is. You know, so for me, it's like I defy the odds. Sorry. I want to be the best
nice.
me, and that's it.
That's right.
So based on talking to someone from your environment, if they reach out to you guys today, what would you say to them? Like when as far as trying to change their life for the better? Because, you know, throughout our process, we left a lot of people behind. Yeah. And I don't want to say we left them behind. We've outgrown.
Well, we left them where they were, and we outgrown them based on where we're at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So if someone would reach out like, you know, Suzanne, like, I want to change my life. I think it takes humility to do that for one.
It does. I agree. I mean, if someone reached out to me, I would tell them like, look, what is it that you want? Let's start there. Like, you got to know where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself next year?
Yeah.
Shoot, short term, what do you want to do next week? I mean, you want to start a workout plan. You want to diet, exercise. You want to be healthier. You want to have more financial literacy. Like, what is it that you're trying to do? And I would tell them, listen, school's there for everybody. If you have the willingness to learn and you want to be somebody, you just have to put yourself out there. You got to take a step somewhere. If you start it, you can finish it. But if you don't start, there's no finish game. Like, it's just there, you know, existing. But like to exist and not learn and not elevate, it's no good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, get started. Like you said, take that first step. You got to start. Even if you don't have to be perfect, but you just have to start, you know, and push, work hard. You got to work hard. Make those connections. Try to build a team to get to the next level. A lot of people think they could do it by yourself, but you can't. Like, everybody needs somebody.
And key thing,
everybody needs somebody.
Right. Let me not leave that out. You got to cut off some people. Like, if you know, if these people are holding you down, I mean, like, let's talk about it. Like, my daughter Destiny knows my famous saying is, You don't meet a lawyer and all her friends work at McDonald's. You know why? Because I can't bring you along on my journey. You can't afford the things where I'm trying to go. You can't even go there. We can't even vacation together. If we can't vacation together, eat together, break bread together, what are we doing? We can't do nothing together. So if you want to elevate, you have to be around like-minded people. And that person's telling you can't, they got to either go or they got to get on your wagon to, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
And if they're not there, yeah, I'll see you later. I'm not going to see you no more, but I'll see you later. Meaning, like, I see you in passing, hey, how you doing? But that's all it's going to be, is a hi and bye. Because I'm on another level. You know what I mean? So.
I like that a lot.
You know?
You know, it's weird because, like, you know, with growing, a lot of times, some of us stunt our own growth because the potential that we may have, we're so forcefully pushing it onto others that we're not putting it into ourselves.
True.
I think anyone and everyone in the beginning of their success should be very selfish.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say selfish is because you're never going to be satisfied if you see yourself in a certain light until you get into that certain light.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you see people that are older who are frustrated, angry, bitter, scorned, because they didn't care about themselves so much to the point that they didn't put themselves in position. My family benefits from me because I've crushed myself and pushed myself to being the best version of self. And now I can I can comfortably help someone else because of the fact that I helped myself first.
Yeah.
You know, they say on a plane, the first thing they tell you is put on your mask first before you try to help others.
Right.
Right.
And that's what you see a lot of people, they trying to help others
It's true.
before they put on their own mask.
Guilty of that. You
Right.
lose a lot when you do that.
100%.
And not only that, here it is. You gave this, you breathed life into this person, and now you were on oxygen and helping them. You died.
Yes.
And so there's people walking
Yes.
out here and they're zombies. And they're not really alive, but they're here. They're walking amongst us, but are they really living? And I've always wanted to live. I'm like, let me live to my full potential. I want a vacation. I want to show my kids this is what it's like. But we have to make the sacrifice now to get to the later. We can't get to later unless we're sacrificing for right now. So that's kind of where we're at as a family. And my husband's always setting goals like, all right, let's have a talk this month. What are we trying to work on? Let's, you know, the kids got to do this. They have to be more responsible. We got to be on top of this because it takes a team.
It does.
So if your home environment is not a team, then it's I. And one person standing it's very hard. It's challenging.
Yes.
It's almost inevitable to fail. But you have to bring everyone on the same team and they got to buy into the dream of the family.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
So, you know, that's where I'm at.
I like that. You want to hear something? One day a guy asked me, at the time my son was like 18, he was like, if your son fell into a cage with a lion, and what would you do? I said, the first thing I'm going to do is see what he does. He said, what do you mean? I said, he's the one in danger. He has to be willing to defend himself first. Even if he's losing, he has to have fighting him.
Wow.
Because if I'm going to risk my life, we can go out together than me just risking my life and you're not even willing to fight for your own.
Yeah.
I said, I carry that mentality all the time. I don't give my son a better life. He has to earn the better life. And I think that's what people don't understand. When you earn things, you appreciate. And the whole analogy about the lion in the cage, he's in danger. He's being bit on. If he lays there in the fetal position, that means he don't care to live.
Right?
Because you're the one that should be trying to fight for your life first.
Yes.
Before someone else can fight for your life.
True.
And that's how I view people
It's true.
in bad predicaments.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
may
definitely.
be losing to the lion,
Right.
but he's willing to fight back. So if you're in a neighborhood or an environment that might be nibbling on you or biting you, if you're not trying to fight back, I cannot jump in there and help you. If you're willing to fight back, and I see you fighting back, even if you're losing, because we grew up in a generation, it wasn't about if you can or cannot fight.
Right.
Right.
Because if you didn't fight back, we laughed at you.
Right.
Exactly.
You could lose, but you fought.
And you were called a name forever.
Yes.
If you didn't fight back, it was
Yes.
like, who are you again? Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna act like when I see you, I don't know you. I'm gonna dismiss you.
Yes.
At all costs, because it was like you don't even have the wherewithal to be like, let me do something.
Come on.
Something's better than nothing, but nothing gives you nothing.
Yes.
Every
Right.
single time.
Right.
Nothing will always give you nothing. It's not something like if you want something, you got to be able to give me something back. Good grades, respect. honesty. Give
Something.
me something.
Right.
But if I have nothing to work with, I'm giving you nothing.
I mean, there's no effort.
You know, and
You
that's
always
why
respect
people
the
talk
effort.
about earning potential. Well, you have to have the potential to earn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when people talk about earning potential, it's like, well, what do you bring into the table? You gotta have something, idea, the knowledge behind it, the education behind it, the willing to just go out there and be on a corner with fire.
Yes.
Tell me what you're gonna do.
Yes.
But if you tell me you're gonna do nothing, I can't put you on my team and expect you to do something.
Yes.
Right.
When you showing me nothing for the longest,
Yes.
gotta believe that person.
You know, one time,
You know what I mean?
my
Gotta
son-
believe him.
My son hit his
So-
report card because he thought I was going to be mad. He had a 70, 60, 75 in math. He thought I was going to, like he was scared. So I looked at him and I said, where your report card? He said, I didn't get it yet. And I said, I called your school. They actually told me,
He lied.
you got your report card.
Right.
And he came over and he showed me the report card. You could see, like, my son get the jitters. And I think in the beginning of a child's life, they should fear you. Fear turns to respect.
Absolutely.
You know, any great parent, the kids initially feared them, right? Then it turned to respect, right? But anyway, at least fear the fact that you're letting your parent down. But anyway, he showed me the 75, and I said, now I want to see you get to a 78. He looked at me and said, you're not mad at me? I said, no, I know how hard you worked for that
That's
78.
good. That's good.
I know you worked hard for it because last semester you had a 65. I said, now you had a 75. I said, next semester I want to see a 75, 70, 78, 80.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and I said, we just respect trying and effort.
Trying.
And that's what's
effort,
so
yeah.
big.
Yes.
Because you don't want to break a kid's spirit. You can
For
break
low
somebody's
grades,
spirit.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that was like, no one can give you more than your best.
Come on.
If I ask you for your best and you're like, your mom, that was really my best, I can't beef with you.
No.
If anything, I can say, what do you need in order to do just a little bit better?
Yes.
We're gonna figure it out together.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna break that kid's spirit to be like, this is all you got? This is it? This is horrible. So how should that kid be able to pick themselves up from that initial response to do better? They can't. Because you told them that they can't. Like, this is it? You're nothing. No.
I think we come from that. That's why
No.
most of us come from that
Right.
verbal
From that
abuse.
where you get bashed for not
What?
doing
Right.
well. But grades
Right.
don't define you as a person.
No.
You could be a whole dropout and a millionaire or billionaire
Correct.
and impacting the
Talk
whole
about
world.
it. Talk about it.
You know?
Sound like you talking about me.
The A, B, C, D don't matter.
Sounds like you're talking about someone over here.
Sound like you
But
talking about me.
it just shows you though, like it's not about that. It's about the willingness to be better and being motivated and being able to work hard.
They said though, they said the millionaires are usually the average students.
Yeah.
They said they're the average
Most of them
students.
didn't even complete high school.
Yeah. They said it because they said that they have the ability to adjust.
Think outside.
Most people that are bookworms, that's all they can do.
They can't
Yeah.
think outside the box.
No, they're so
they
set.
are safe in the
Yeah.
box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other
Yes.
people, they can think outside the box and be like, oh wait, actually, what about
This don't
this?
make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I question the teacher. The teacher's like,
Yeah.
what did he just say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's amazing.
I gotta ask both of y'all, being that you said we talking about outgrowing. Give me somebody in your life. You can say their name too, because they need their flowers. Give me somebody that played a major, major role in the person you have become today. Who would you say? Someone that's very dear to your heart that played a major part in the person you've become today. Outside of just, we talked about our mothers, outside of just them. Could be a teacher. It could be
That's tough.
You know?
I don't want to offend any of one of my friends. They're gonna be watching. And I'm like,
Listen, but
being very careful right now.
that person could have came at a time where you really needed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with my friend Pamela Hall. She was a lot older than me. She's my best friend. She probably got me about 10, 15. She's a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And she was like a sister and a mom. Like, so
Wow.
she'll, like, when I go to her with relationship issues or children issues, she won't always tell me what I want to hear, but what I need to hear.
Yes.
And you don't want a yes man on your team. You
Yes.
don't want someone just like, yeah, you know, he ain't no good. Yeah, you should just leave your husband. Like anyone who's like in the corner of leaving your husband or your significant other when they don't know the full story.
Yes.
And are they gonna support you and take care of you? Are they trying to make you make it work? I don't know if I buy into them. So she's always been like, listen, you know, he's a man first, and men think differently, and you have to be more patient, and you have to, you know, worry about yourself.
Yes.
And if you better yourself, he will benefit. So I think, you know, her pouring into that and just my children and be like, look, you can't always hit them. Maybe talk to them or take them out and maybe have their alone time with you and separate the kids. And she's poured into me so much that, like, without her, I think I would be a different person, believe it or not.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Her name Pamela Hall?
Pamela Hall.
Wow.
Give it up to Pamela Hall, man.
You know who next?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I'm curious. Someone that played a major part in your life that came at a time where you may needed it, whether advice, someone you could depend on, someone you could rely on, someone you can call at any time of the hour and know that they always have your best interest at heart.
That's tough, because you're one of them.
Oh, all right. Let's talk about that.
Boy, Q.
I never knew that. I didn't tell her to say that. I didn't tell her to say
surely
that.
didn't.
No, we've been friends at least, like 15 years?
Yeah.
At least 15 or more.
Wow.
Now, that's my best friend.
Yeah. So, there's a few. Renee, Cavell. It's hard to just pick one, like
It's
you
hard to
said.
pick one.
Like, because
It is.
people, like you said, come into your life at the right time. And, like, Renee, she's like so down to earth. Pray with me, encourage me,
That's
push
Pam, too.
me.
I left that out.
Cavell
Praying.
too. Like, it's
Right.
hard to just pin it down to just one.
I love that.
But a few people have helped me be who I am today.
Yeah.
Helped me be level-headed. Because I'm a person, I'm always willing to take constructive
Constructive
criticism,
criticism.
and I try my best to be a better person.
Definitely.
You know, I be chewing you up.
Yeah,
I be chewing you
you
up.
always be chewing me up, and I be trying to give excuses.
with love.
But he be like, no, Viv.
There's no but.
You know, our
I
number
know.
one conversation
I know.
that we have a lot of times is in anger, a woman has to be able to control her mouth.
Yes.
Like a man has to be able to control his hands.
True.
And I tell her, a person should never be able to get you to that point
Yeah.
because you have to control yourself.
That's true.
I have to work on
You
not
know?
reacting.
Yeah. It's
I didn't.
true.
I
You
wasn't
gotten better.
always. I was not.
You gotten better.
Yes.
You gotten better?
She got way
Yes.
High five for that.
She got better.
Bring it in.
And I'm
was
gonna give it
not
to her.
always
Okay.
a reactive person. I was always usually quiet, and
No,
and
he knows
then-
I was always feisty.
Yeah,
Excuse
feisty.
me?
But
Excuse
growing
me?
up where I grew up, I had to grow some tough skin, wine dance.
Ooh. Ooh.
The dance.
I'm going to give you a hug for that
So
one
growing up
because
there, I
Tough.
Westbury was rough, but yeah,
Wine
I
dance is rough.
developed some tough skin, so I went
Ugh.
from not saying much to saying too much, fighting and doing all type of stuff. That was in my 20s,
Of course.
I still got it in me though.
Me too.
But
we all
you
do.
always remind
Right.
me, Viv. I'm like, oh, but they did it. He's like, no, but you're
But you.
still, you're
Accountable.
responsible for the
for
way
you.
you react. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, you're right.
Yes. Yes.
God's still working on me.
Listen,
He's still working on
He's
me.
still working on me too. I'm
He's
so
working on
far
all
from
of
perfect.
us. He's working
I'm
on all
so
of us.
far, but
You
I'm
know.
so much a better. I'm a better me than I
Yeah.
ever was. So if that makes any sense, like
Yeah.
Listen, there's a guy I want to give flowers to. His name is Gino. That's my best friend, Gino Mednard. You know who he is. Gino, I remember when I was away, I called him. I said, yo, my son's birthday. And I was depressed. This is my first birthday away from my son in prison. And he was like, don't worry about it. He bought my son the RC car. He said, I got him. He said, you're here. I'm going to make sure. And it says from you and everything. I was like, wow. And then I needed money for sneakers, and he sent it.
Wow.
And I remember when I left, I was just talking about this today, the G35 was hot
it sure
when
was.
I left. So as I
Sure
left,
was.
it was like the car to get.
Right.
Because the new muffler sound it had and all
Remember the
that.
album had one. Yeah.
So then when I came back, I was like, y'all want to get the G35. That's why I say you get stuck in a time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not experiencing cars in prison.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
experiencing what's hot, what's new.
Right.
You know, you just seeing whatever's on TV.
Right.
So anyway, I was like, y'all gotta get me that G35. He said, yeah, that's a hoopty, bro. And I said, that's not a hoopty. He said, yeah, that's a hoopty. And I said, that's not a hoopty.
my
You straight out.
Yeah.
That's a hoopty.
He said, don't do it. So I looked at him and he said to me, he said, Q, do me a favor. Give yourself time to get acclimated with what's going on. Stop thinking you're missing out. You're gonna get everything you deserve.
Wow.
He said, calm down, breathe. One thing about this man, he was the first man in my whole life that seen my greatness and always gave me flowers. I can call him and say that I just hit the lottery. Yo, that's what's up, my guy, I'm proud. He's like that. He's always been the kind of friend that was always proud. He's never been, there's not an ounce of hate in this man.
No.
Not an ounce.
That's
And
what it
I
should
remember,
be.
I'll give you one more story.
That's
I
a
remember
real friend.
he used to live on my block when I moved out here.
Oh yeah.
That's when I met him. And it's funny because He came out the house mad at his pops. And I was like, yo, bro, bless you. He comes out the house mad at his dad. We got to be like early 20s. Early 20s. Right. So he was like, but I already knew him. But he goes, man, I can't stand, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, what happened? I said, he's like, he was mad at his father. And I was like, but that's what happens, man, when you live with your father. He's like, I don't live with my father. I said, what you mean you don't live with your father? He said, my father lived with me. Oh. He said, that's my house. Yo, he had to be about 22, 23.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I said, you lying. He said, nah, yo, Q, I promise you, that's my house.
Wow.
He said, that's me and my wife's house. And we was like 22, 23 years old. And then you fast forward, the new house that you see that he lives in?
Yeah.
He bought that at 24.
Wow.
His house is humongous, right?
It is.
But,
it is.
But
Ground
look,
pool and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it showed that.
That's where I was at last week?
Yeah. He was ahead of his time. And check that, Dre. Do this for me. He was so ahead of his time that he was telling me that I was that person because he kept telling me, oh, you could be all of that. Mm-hmm. So you see that with outgrowing people, God start placing people in position to help you grow.
That's right.
Yep.
Along your journey, you will meet people. Yeah, that is going to help the journey.
Yep.
You know?
God's plan. That's all I got to say.
Divine connection. That's
it's
what I
crazy.
call it.
It's crazy.
Connection.
You know it's real when y'all don't have to talk every day, and when y'all talk, it's like y'all never stop talking.
Yes.
That's me and Alicia.
Yeah. That's when you know it's real.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's real.
Like, you know we besties, right?
It's real.
Regardless.
You know?
I have a few friends like that. We don't talk every day, but when we do talk, it's always
That's
love.
me and my cousins.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to them every day.
I know.
Yeah.
He just lost one of his friends, best friend.
Oh,
you know?
Sorry to hear that.
But the one thing I want to say this, and I know you feeling it, he know you loved him. I know him because of you. Yeah. He know your heart was pure. Yeah. You know your heart was genuine. One thing about life, you don't got to question what he thinks he knows.
I know. Right, I'm like.
You understand? Yeah. So regardless of him not being here, your whole premise of life, if God giving you more life, you should use those days to make him prouder. But me personally, me knowing your friendship, I know he's proud of you. Right. I know he loved you. Amen. He would always defend you. Meaning would argue because he would defend you. And you would defend him, and you get on my nerves, and but I know he loves you, and I know you loved him. And this is a moment of celebration of life, not being resentful of life because he came into your life for a reason. Right. We just enjoy the moments because you got to understand that everybody that we see, they're leased to us. They're leased. They're not ours forever.
True.
And we have to accept that we're going to have to allow people to go eventually. And we just got to enjoy them while they're here, and just understand that God has his purpose because he's called for his son.
Yep.
And he needs him. He needs him,
God's plan is God's plan.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. I lost one of my closest friends very young.
God gives us people for a season. For, it's nothing's for a lifetime. Nothing's for eternity.
No.
Eternity is when we get to heaven.
Yes.
So while we're here on this earth, we make the best of it.
Yes.
Treat people with kindness.
Yes.
How we want to be treated.
Yes.
God blesses you back abundantly. When you put him first, it's all good.
And God putting this on my heart to say this. Stop always feeling like you got to be strong all the time.
Right.
Like he's putting it on my heart to say this. You're not weak, bro.
Right.
Like, you're not weak. You're not a weak man, bro. It's okay.
Yep.
Yo, bro, we all can be vulnerable, bro.
Definitely.
He's making me say it right now.
Definitely.
He's like, keep picking at my head to say it to you.
Right.
You're not weak, bro. Stop always thinking you got to always figure it out. Sometimes give it to the room, bro. Talk.
Yep.
Stop always this whole Rasta Jamaica crap.
Right.
We taught that you guys are men, you got to shut up. Right. I'm telling you as a man, that's not right. You're going to become sick like that, bro.
It's true.
They say, men are the number one suicide committers.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it is you will never know that this person is suffering because men suffer in silence the most.
They'll never talk about it.
They suffer in
and they
silence.
Say, what's that saying they say? Real men cry.
What? You got me tearing for you, bro. You got me tearing for you, bro.
Right.
This is my little brother. I raised straight.
Yeah, real men will,
it's okay, bro.
Will shed a tear.
And trust me, I'm proud of the man you are, bro. You're a good dude, bro. You're a good dude, bro. He knows it, bro. Trust me, he knows. I lost a good friend very young. But again, you learn.
You learn.
You learn. And you remember your good memories. Beautiful thing is you have a son, you name him after him. Aww. That's how you look at life. Celebrate his life. Not hold on to bad moments of when he passed on. Remember the good times. Right. Enjoy those moments. Before we get out of here today, I want y'all to, y'all have anything to say before we get out of here?
I can't
Yes.
talk right now.
I
It got me crying.
I just want to say that I am proud of this guy here.
Appreciate it.
I'm thankful to be on this set with you guys, to talk about these life experiences. I mean, if we can't talk about things, we can't grow.
Yes.
So I hope everybody listening and watching took something, learned something, could apply this to their lives. I appreciate you guys being here with us in the moment and sharing these experiences. And yeah, that's about it.
You got to say something.
I say something, girl.
I don't know. Thank you for the opportunity always.
Appreciate you.
I love you forever.
You already know.
And thank you, like she said, thank you to everyone that's watching. Hope you take some of these gems and really act on them to become a better person each and every day. In your mindset, in your thinking, in your heart, how you treat your loved ones, how you treat your friends, how you treat strangers. You know, all of that matters. So, hi again. Thank you for having me.
Yes, same here. Bye, guys.
Well, let me say this before we get out of here today. One thing about life is the journey is a book. And a lot of times we don't have a decision, or we can't have decisions based on our beginnings. We can start changing our middle, but we are the determining factor for our ending. And a lot of times the things that you've been through don't mean the things you have to stay through. We have to allow ourselves to heal and grow from the things that we experienced, ultimately becoming the better versions of ourselves. When growing, it's hard to say this, but you have to face the ugliest version of yourself before you can see the greatest version of yourself. You have to be able to have those conversations with yourself that make you very uncomfortable. You got to tell yourself what are your weaknesses. But the thing about identifying your weaknesses, you can make it your strength. Because the one thing about God is he put people around us who may be strong at things that you're not, which allows us to be stronger. I know what I'm not good at, but I have a team that are great at things that I'm not good at.
Yes.
But being vulnerable is understanding that it's not an end all be all. We can't do everything. But understanding what we're good at, we have to be good at.
True.
Work on ourselves, grow every day, and enjoy life.
Amen.
And if you outgrow people, it's because they was meant to be in your life for a certain amount of chapters, but don't keep them in your life for the totality of your book. Because some of the chapters that you don't want to move on from will be the chapters that's keeping you stuck and the chapters you're currently in. Wow. Till next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.